Tony Dungy is the first NFL coach of African-American descent to win a Super Bowl. His memoir, Quiet Strength, hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. And his new children's book, You Can Do It, comes out today. Tony Dungy, head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, Russ, thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming today. You've already had, as we said, this one best-selling book, and more than an adult book, Quiet Strength. Why a kid's book now?
Well, my wife, we have 3 young kids, and she reads a lot to them and really wanted to read things that were inspirational, that talked about family, that type of thing, and really had trouble finding it. So she came up with the idea, and once we had done the first book, I said, hey, why not delve into it? But it also to encourage kids to read and to dream. That's the big thing.
In the book, a child, in this case, your brother Lyndon, inspired by your brother Lyndon, is trying to find his it. Where did you come up with this story?
It's really a true story. My brother was 3 years behind me and kind of in my shadow. Everybody expected him to be a football player, and he was an academic guy, and he was trying to figure out if that was the right thing to do. And he's a brilliant guy, but it took him a while to really figure out that he wanted to go to dental school and make people happy that way.
Finding your it is something that we all need to do, whether we're 8 years old or 80 years old, something that we need to be aware of, correct?
It really is, and that's the big message in this book to kids, that things that you're good at, things that you enjoy, try to develop that and dream about doing something great.
How did you find your it?
It just came naturally, I guess. I was really an athlete, loved it, but I enjoyed basketball. That was always my sport, and it wasn't until I was really late in high school that I figured out that football was going to be it for me.
Yeah, was there a moment, I guess, late in high school where you said to yourself, you know what, I'm pretty good at this, I can do this?
I never thought about that, but when I got to college, I played basketball and football. In the middle of my sophomore year, it just became obvious I was going to be a little bit better in football.
Yeah, I know your parents were very important to you. How much did they mean to you then and today?
They were. My parents were both teachers, and they taught us to think about things outside the box, not to get pigeonholed into anything. I have a sister who's a doctor. At that time, it's very unusual for an African-American woman to go to medical school, but that's what our parents taught us. You can do whatever you want to do.
What do you think your parents would have? Your parents have passed away.
Yes.
I know. What do you think they would have thought? What do you think they're thinking right now of their son?
Well, I think they'd be happy with all 4 of us, and they'd be really kind of amazed that I've written 2 books.
Oh, is that right?
Because I was the least studious of all 4 of the kids.
Wow, Super Bowl thing, yeah, we get that. Writing 2 books, nah.
It would never happen.
Don't get that at all. Your faith is very important to you as well. How does it help you, not only in football, but in your life in general?
Well, that's the other part of the book, too, that is always going to hopefully come through, that dreaming is important and working hard, but don't leave God out of it. God is so important in whatever you want to do, and that's an underlying message as well.
You also have a philosophy that football isn't everything, which I would guess in the NFL is a rather unique philosophy. Am I right about that?
You're right, Russ. I was very fortunate to play and work for Chuck Noll, who had some great teams with the Steelers in the 70s, but he was a well-rounded guy, and he believed that football was just a small part of your life. And he taught us that as players, and I worked for him for 9 years as a coach. And I try to do the same thing with our players and our staff. We want to be as good as we can be. Winning Super Bowls is important, but we want to do other things and be well-rounded, and I think that's special.
Again, all these things are very important to you, but what do you do to kind of to chillax, as the kids say?
Well, I like outdoor activities. We love to ride bikes and walk in the park, those kind of things. I love to fish. I'm a big spectator sport guy. We've got 3 young kids, so dealing with them keeps you useful as well, yeah.
All right, training camp starts in what, 2 weeks?
We do. We start 2 weeks from Thursday, and we're excited. We didn't reach our goals last year. We've got some great young men coming back, and we want to get started.
I'm going to give you a chance here in the early show. July 8th, Indianapolis Colts going to win the Super Bowl this year?
That's the plan. I wouldn't bet against us.
All right, Tony Dungy, again, an honor to meet you. Congratulations on the new book.
Thank you, Russ. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. To see an excerpt from Tony's new book, you can log on to our website, earlyshow.cbsnews.com.